Hi, everybody. Welcome to Financial February. It's day 18, Sunday. It's Jody Gambini, your financial money coach. I help people with entrepreneurship, businesses, and life coaching, and financial and money coaching all in one. But this month, we are focusing on me giving a lot of wisdom and tricks and tips and unknown things that I have learned in my 28 years of being in the financial services, the banking. I worked in the banking. I was a branch manager, accounts manager, and then I also ran my own financial investments and financial planning. So I help people with retirement planning, with planning to be able to create their own business, all kinds of different things. But today I'm going to talk about a few things that I have seen throughout the year. I know that there's some buzzwords out there right now, and I'm not disagreeing with them. I've heard financial abuse, and different personalities and different things like that. But what I kind of felt like I wanted to actually focus on today is just giving a little bit of insight, education, and encouraging you with things I have seen through the years that don't always work out well. So if you're in the midst of something like this, maybe you just need to hear, or maybe you don't know how to do anything else. So here's what I see sometimes. The banks have changed their policies, but a lot of times, maybe you're you are willing to sign your paychecks over to somebody else to deposit in their bank and be in charge of all of the bills, and they're going to give you money when you need it. I would highly encourage you that that is not a good idea. And I have seen it happen because maybe somebody thinks they can't open up a bank account. There is a thing out there called check systems where if you defaulted on your bank account, a lot of times, but they will still let you open a savings account. And savings accounts, they'll still let you have a debit card. Well, you'll have an ATM card. I don't know about a debit card, but you would have an ATM card where you could pull your own cash out. But I really encourage you, joint accounts are great. I'm going to say um, be cautious of that though, because if something is done on a bank account, in an investment, whatever it is, and it is what is called a joint tenant account, which it means two or more people have all authority in the bank account. If somebody else does something in that bank account, it can be you can get in trouble also. So these are kind of some tips and tricks around banking. So I would say, you want to be cautious of who you would go on a bank account with. And I and I know I've been hearing out there. I was listening to some different divorce attorneys and different people talking about the fact that they really think having your own account without somebody else on it, um, have your joint account and you both put into it. And I shared with you my thoughts around that with all the things I've seen. I think you have a joint account, you have two separate accounts, but you're on each other's accounts. Because if you are married, even though depending on the state you live in, you could be entitled to the money, most everything gets put into probate or gets frozen for 30 days until you have a death certificate sometimes, which all of those take weeks. So that would be one tip, being aware of who you do go on a bank account with. But I wanted to give people tips if they think that they can't open up a bank account because they show up on check systems. That is normally all the big banks, like the Wells Fargo's, the Bank of America's. But now you could go to a credit union, and a lot of times they don't use the same systems. And there's some credit unions out there that you don't that pretty much anybody qualifies for. And then there's also community banks. Like in my area, there's one called Farmers and Merchants. There's a few different community banks around, and they have different systems they use. So if you were on check systems, you could possibly open up a bank account. But here's what I would say, and I'm not a big, huge fan of carrying tons of cash whatsoever. But if for some reason you can't get a normal bank account, then you can normally you can take your check into wherever that bank is. So let's say you work for Taco Bell and Taco Bell banks at Wells Fargo, then you can take that check to Wells Fargo. You stand in line, you can cash it. Then I would say that, whether you have to get cashier's checks for your bills, then do that and work your way up from there. Sometimes they'll let you get a savings account and you can get a secured credit card. So it's backed by a certain amount. Another thing that you could do is just use your cash, then go in and get like one of those visas, or the different gift cards you can get gift card visas, and then you could pay your bills that way, but you're still having your own money. So those are my tips around that. A lot of times it's done because somebody else doesn't think they can get a bank account. Maybe they don't have a different things. You can go down to normally any department vehicles and get an ID. So even if you don't have a driver's license, you can get an ID and a state ID, and that is approved for that. So I just wanted to give people some workarounds around that. So have a great day. It is raining where I'm at. I'm driving up to see my mom, so I just want to pull over while the light was still out. So have a great day. Bye. Those are my tips for today.